When the world first met Georgina Rodríguez, it made assumptions, as the world always does about young women who step into the orbit of extraordinarily famous men. It assumed she was temporary. It assumed she was decorative. It assumed that the story was his, and she was simply a supporting character moving through the edges of it. What the world did not anticipate, and what has since become one of the most quietly compelling narratives in modern celebrity life, is that Georgina would build a family with such depth, such warmth, and such visible devotion that the children at the center of it would become the most convincing argument anyone could make for who she actually is as a person. She did not become a mother because it was expected of her. She became one because it is the role in which every version of herself, the boutique assistant, the Netflix star, the global brand, converges into something completely whole. The children did not complete her story. They revealed it. To understand the texture of Georgina's daily family life, you have to hold all 5 children in your mind simultaneously, because that is exactly what she does, every single day, without pause or complaint. Cristiano Jr., the eldest, already navigating the complex terrain of early adulthood with his father's intensity and his own emerging identity. The twins, Mateo and Eva, inseparable in energy if not always in opinion, bringing a specific brand of dual chaos that only parents of multiples truly understand. Alana Martina, Georgina's daughter with Ronaldo, curious and bright and watching everything with the wide, observant eyes of a child who misses nothing. And Bella Esmeralda, the youngest, still in the golden early years of pure wonder, discovering the world one delighted reaction at a time. Georgina holds all 5 of them, not just logistically, not just practically, but emotionally, daily, completely. She knows each child's specific language of love, each one's particular fear, each one's private joke, and each one's need. That is not management. That is devotion, and it is the most underrated thing about her. There is a version of the Ronaldo household morning that gets documented and shared: coordinated outfits, beautiful children, a home that looks like it was designed for a magazine spread even at 7 in the morning. And then there is the actual morning, which Georgina navigates with a combination of genuine warmth and quiet logistical genius that never quite makes it into the curated version. Breakfast preferences that change without notice, a missing shoe that was definitely here yesterday, a child who has decided that today is not a school day, regardless of what the calendar says, another child who is ready 40 minutes early and is now bored and therefore dangerous. What Georgina brings to all of this, and what the children absorb without knowing they are absorbing it, is a steadiness that refuses to let the chaos of the morning set the emotional tone for the day. She is the thermostat of that house, and she keeps it warm even when everything around it is doing its best to make it otherwise. One of the most remarkable things about Georgina as a mother, visible in the footage, the interviews, the documentary, and the thousands of small public moments that have accumulated over years, is the specificity of her love for each individual child. She does not parent in broad strokes or with a single approach applied uniformly across 5 very different personalities. She reads each child, adjusts to each child, and meets each one in the specific place where they are, rather than where it would be convenient for them to be. With Junior, she gives space and respect. With the twins, she brings energy and humor. With Alana, she brings closeness and attentiveness. With Bella, she brings the slow, tender patience of a mother who knows how fast this part goes. That quality, the ability to love 5 people differently while making each one feel they are loved most, is not something that can be learned from a parenting book or performed for a camera. It is the product of paying attention, day after day, to the specific human being in front of you. Georgina pays that attention. The children know it, and it shows in every interaction that makes it into the public record. The moments that make Georgina's family life genuinely joyful are not the yacht holidays, or the designer wardrobes, or the private jet departures, although all of those things exist and none of them are pretended away. The moments that matter are the ordinary ones that happen inside the expensive house with the same unpredictable, unscripted, completely human quality they would have in any house anywhere. Alana asking the same question 4 times because the answer the first 3 times was not the one she wanted. Bella laughing at something that is not objectively funny, but that becomes funny because her laugh is completely irresistible. The twins negotiating with each other in a private language of siblings that no adult in the house has ever fully decoded. Georgina's joy in these moments is not performed, and it is not nostalgic. It is immediate and present and entirely real. She is not watching her children grow up from a careful distance, managing the experience rather than living it. She is in it, completely, getting it wrong sometimes and getting it wonderfully right at others, and finding the whole messy, beautiful business of it deeply, sustainably worth it. Of all the relationships within the Ronaldo family that the public has been allowed glimpses of, the one between Georgina and her daughter Alana Martina carries a particular and very specific emotional charge. Alana is Georgina's biological daughter, the child who is biologically hers in a family that is beautifully and deliberately blended, and the closeness between them, the specific texture of their interaction, is something that comes through in every piece of footage and every photograph that has ever captured them together. There is a recognition between them, a mirroring, a private understanding that exists between a mother and the child who came from her body and will carry her forward into the world. What makes it especially moving is that Georgina's love for all 5 children is so visible and so complete that Alana's special place within it does not diminish any of the others. It simply adds another dimension to a portrait of motherhood that is already extraordinarily rich. She has room for all of them. She makes room. That is what mothers do, and Georgina does it with a wholeness that is genuinely beautiful to witness. There are homes where happiness happens when the conditions are right, when everyone is healthy, when the schedule cooperates, when nothing has gone wrong and the day has delivered what was hoped for. And then there are homes where happiness is brought in through the door by someone who has decided, as a fundamental orientation to life, that joy does not wait for permission. Georgina's household is the second kind, and she is the reason why. She dances when she feels like dancing. She laughs loudly and without apology. She finds the funny thing in the frustrating thing and shows it to the children before the frustration has a chance to settle. She celebrates small things with the same enthusiasm she brings to large ones. The children growing up inside that atmosphere are being shaped by it in ways they will not fully understand until they are adults, building their own homes and realizing, with a start of recognition, that the reason they instinctively reach for joy rather than waiting for it is because someone showed them that it was always available, always a choice, and that choosing it was the most important habit they would ever develop. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and click on the notifications bell for more gist and stories on your favorite celebrities. Until the next one, please stay tuned.